Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of More Than a Statistic. I'm your host, Justin Griffin. I have 11 years clean, and we're thankful to just still be here with y'all doing this. This is my co-host, Tab.
I'm Tabitha. He asked me to come on last week and be his co-host. I'm coming up on 4 years clean in May, so I'm excited about that.
It's awesome. Before we get into this episode, I wanted to make a couple of announcements. We still have shirts, and the donations will be going to Together We Rise, and it's going to be helping trafficked women, people coming out of recovery houses, rehabs, or incarceration. So your money's going to a really good cause. I really sprung for good quality shirts to give you in return, so I'm not trying to hand you some trash just so you hand me over your money, but I want you to know, like, that's one place that your money's going, that you're making a real impact and a difference in somebody's daily life. Another thing is the videos that I asked for. If you don't care, we're trying to do we do recover montage video of people holding up a picture of them in active addiction and then lowering it down and showing their face of what they look like today. So if you'd like to be a part of that, you can either message them to me or you can message them to Tab here. We'd be grateful to have you to be a part of that. We think it'd be a lot of power in that.
Yeah.
Tonight's episode actually was Tab's idea, and that's why I love her, is because she comes with ideas. She always has. Even, the first time she came, she said, "Oh, I got another show for you." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, it looks like you're right to come back." And that's why I love hers, because you take a little bit of the stress off of me to where I can come in a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
And when she told me, we should do this, I almost got goosebumps. I told her, because what we're doing is we've asked a couple of people that's been in our lives for a while to write a note about what we were like during our addiction versus how much we've changed now. And that's something that we don't get to hear a lot about, is changes people seen in us. We don't talk about that a lot. So we asked them to write a note because we feel like in a note people can be more honest. And
let me say,
yep.
we have not read them. They are in sealed envelopes, and we have not read nothing they say. So this is raw. This is happening as we speak. So just so you all know that we have not read them.
Yeah. And we wanted to save that because we didn't want to be mentally prepared for this, because I don't know what they wrote. I can't tell you the changes they've seen in me, and that's the part about this that scared me.
Yeah.
Is because I know how I see me, but it's scary to know how other people see, especially when we're doing it on the internet. Like, we haven't even read this stuff.
And know what they see that we would have probably never thought that they saw. Ever.
And I'm sure that by the end of this, how we see ourselves is going to be nothing like these letters.
Yep.
We joked and we laughed. There's no telling what they outed us on, but realistically, we're probably going to be crying because we ourselves can't see it sometimes. We're talking about daily battles.
Yeah. And every day.
Just for us, sometimes it's just winning that day. It's just winning that hour.
One day at a time.
Yeah, and making good choices, and I guess we'll just jump right into it, get started.
I'm going to start by reading some that have been sent to Justin. He had first said that he was going to read his own and I would read my own, but I just think it would be better for him to be able to sit and listen to me read it and take it all in, whereas he might not have done that if we had done them that way. So this is his first letter. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Dear brother, when I look at you now, the changes go far beyond just being clean. You carry yourself with such grace and stability. You've turned your experience into something meaningful and share your story to bring awareness and hope to others. You have worked so hard to become someone not only yourself, but your boys, your family, and especially your mom can be proud of. To be able to go from where you were 15 years ago to where you are now is incredible and makes me extremely happy for you and the life you have now. I'm so very thankful that you turned your life around and have turned to God the way you have. You are one of the best fathers, husband, brother, friend, and person in general that I know. For you to have gone through what you went through and to do what you're doing to try to help others just shows what kind of heart you truly have. Keep doing what you're doing and making everyone proud. I know I sure am. Love you. It's starting.
Yeah.
I see his
Murray
eyes
crying.
welling up.
You know, I told somebody the other day, they came and hung out with me for the first time at the house, and they got to just sit down. And when they left, they said, you know, you're a really good dude, and just a couple other little things. And I texted him back, and, you know, I say stuff sometimes, and I don't know how it's going to rub people, and I don't know. But I told him, I said, I'm really glad you got to meet this version of me, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if he understood what I meant, but, you know, that's just how I feel like.
Yeah.
It took 39 years to get this version of me, and it's still not 100%.
And I think when we go through this stuff in life, we have such a deeper feeling about things. Like, we might have been a giving person before or had a big heart, but I think now it's just amped it up 1,000 times.
I think a lot of my things is I try to overextend in the areas that I felt like I needed it most. You know what I mean? Like the being seen part, the acknowledgement part, the hey, I see you and you're doing a good job.
Yep.
And I think that's probably the biggest change in me was, you know, I realized I didn't get it. I realized not a lot of people said it, so I just began doing that, and it's changed my life.
Oh yeah,
it's changed
definitely.
my life. Okay, now it's time to make you cry.
Oh.
Okay, this one says, when I was asked to write about changes I've seen in Tab, I struggled because I was young, and as a child, you don't really notice those things. I didn't understand what was going on other than we didn't see her a lot. Now I see her or at least talk to her multiple times a week. Another change I've noticed, and probably the best, is her growth in her faith. She comes to church, reads her Bible, and will talk to anyone about the Lord. She is always willing to tell her story and what He has brought her through. She's one of the strongest women I know. She has been there for me whenever I have needed her. She's listened when I just needed someone to listen, and we joke that she's actually my mom because we are so much alike. She loves my kids just as I do and would do anything for them. I'm so thankful to have her in our lives full time now. I'm so proud of how far she has come and will continue to do so.
I love it.
And you know it is for
Excites
kids. In my family, there's been kids greatly affected by it. And you know that some's got to see the change, you know, not necessarily in the person that they would like it for, but they've gotten to see the change. And at least in my family, I think the one that got it the worst, she's actually done very well for herself, and she's broken all those stigmas, and she's actually a social worker helping in the field now. So,
well, and I say it all the time when I'm telling my story, but whenever Raylan was little bitty, she was always scared of me. Like, when I would try to have anything to do with her, she wouldn't allow. And I wanted her to so bad because I loved her so much. So right after I got out of rehab, I was over there, and me and her walked up to the mailbox together. And we were holding hands, and Kyla took a picture. So, several months later, we had went to eat after church, and we was walking through the parking lot, and she was holding my hand. She was scared of me because I was never around, but just every way now and then, so she really didn't know who I was. And the other day, she got my phone and she said, "Hey, Tabby, will you make your screensaver the picture of me and you holding hands?"
Mm-hmm.
If I had the prayers that I did and going to rehab, I would have never got to experience it.
And I don't have kids of my own, but I can't imagine if I did, because the love I have for them, I can't imagine it being any more stronger. But that gets me every time.
And you know, with my own, mine mentioning that that's something people always say is that, you know, you are a good dad. And once again, that come from me not having it. You know, it come from the experience of not having it. And, and for me, that's when I had my kid is when my drug addiction really took off. And it was the opposite, you know. And I was thinking about it on the ride here that he's 14, and I'm about to have a talk with him about, you know, what Dad did and what Mom went through.
Shoo.
And how he's the reason, you know, like it started with you, but you being here is what saved me. That's why I'm here today. And you know, that's a lot. We don't give kids enough credit sometimes, you know. And another thing is when we're on this stuff, we forget the spiritual part of it. You know, there's dark energy on us.
Yeah.
And
really
kids can sense that kind of thing. You know, kids, and it's weird to me, like, since I have found this healed version of myself, kids just come to me now.
I know it.
You know what I mean? I was at the kickboxing event the other day, and his daughter just ended up sitting beside me, and she's kicking her foot on me, you know, trying to get my, and that's something that God's done. You know, and I was the same way when I was on it. Dogs didn't like me as much, you know, the weird things. And I don't think we pay enough attention to that part. Is we're on them drugs, but we're under this demonic influence and these powers that people don't, you know, like it's easy to say we believe in Jesus, but it's people get a little bit weird when you start talking about, you know, these kind of forces, and if you believe in that, you got to believe in this. And a kid will tell you the truth. You know, they said there's two honest people, is drunk people and kids.
I'm telling you, a kid will make you feel this big sometimes. But they're just so innocent, but they love with all that they have. You know, so. Is it your turn?
It's your turn.
Oh, my turn. All right. This one says, we talked about whether this letter should be in first person or third person. I chose first, so it feels like I'm speaking directly to you rather than you just reading words on a page. When I thought about what I wanted to say to you, 2 words came to mind: intentionality and presence. When you were in active addiction, your heart still always shone through. There was never a question of who you were as a person. But now I notice how intentionally you show interest in those around you. You intentionally reach out. You intentionally send a song that made you think about someone, which you literally just did to me. Being kind reactively is fine. Being kind intentionally shows how much you truly care. Being present is the thing I notice most. While you may have been in the room, you weren't really present. I hate to say this, but I don't have many specific memories involving you when you were in active addiction. I knew you were there, but did we speak? Did we interact at all? I don't remember. Now I don't think I have a family memory that doesn't involve you. You are often the person I look at for family gatherings. You are definitely the person my daughter seeks out. You are a safe space for everyone around you, and we love you dearly for it. I like
somebody
that.
Over that little girl, boy.
Intentionally.
And it does, and it stems from the
you might have been in the room, but were you really present?
During that time, no, because I was over there fighting the nod, you know.
Have you thought about that
Never.
until this very moment, though?
Never. No.
Yeah.
You know, I can't think of a time during then we had the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's a sister-brother relationship now. Like it's a relationship that I hold valuable. And no.
I know we were. I know now, I mean, after that, even for myself, that I would show up a lot. But my mind was always somewhere else, you know.
I was probably trying to hide it.
Yep. I tried
I wasn't present for so many things because of that. I was trying to hide it.
And that's probably stems from a lot of that as well.
Yep.
You know, don't want to show up like that.
No.
Somebody will know.
But now when you're intentionally showing up for good things, has to make you
It took
just feel,
a lot of steps to get here.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't give myself credit. I gave it to God, and God's made this change in me.
Yeah.
It's not what I've done.
not anything.
It's just I try to be a little bit more obedient. You know, as I tried everything my way, and nothing's ever worked.
I just said that the other day to a customer.
So
I said, how many times have we tried in our life and it worked?
always or never.
Yeah.
No, never. Not like we want it to.
And we know that, but I think it's just a human in us that thinks that we can try
Yeah, control.
and succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, that's one of the things I had to give up was control. And that's once you do it, like it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and then you find yourself taking it back.
You're right.
And then you do it again, and you take it back, you know, and eventually, through repetition, you know,
You
that's
have to
one thing
take it
that
and leave
I don't have to control the situations as much as I used to today,
Yep.
you know, and it's kind of freeing.
Yeah, it is. It's like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's make you cry.
I done did.
Let's see if I can get a good one. Oh Lord, you got 2 pages.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay. It says, my boo. Is that how you say it? B-E-A-U?
You.
Beau? My
Yep.
Beau. Okay, I want to write this specifically to you because, well, you're my best friend. As far as memory serves me, 4 years old, we had this special bond. I don't know, maybe if it was we had to share rooms, but you were in all of my memories. We were 2 peas in a pod. Where you saw one of us, you saw the other. Life wasn't easy for us. We went through things that kids shouldn't have had to. Things unheard of at the time, but we was raised on God, and no matter what, He had been there. I remember things started changing you. I always knew you were different, but you're different in everyone else's eyes. What others saw as wrong, I just simply saw as my world, my best friend. You have always had happiness in your soul that others didn't have. Don't get me wrong, I saw your bottom. I saw the anger, the depression. I traveled every road behind you from a distance, praying for God just to keep you here. Shoo, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Didn't know I was gonna cry on your note. Don't let me lose her was my prayer. I remember when drugs got worse, the pills, you would lose so much weight. You would ask for money, things worth money, not much, just enough so you could sell for a high. I never had the heart to tell you no because I didn't want to see you as different. I loved you and you needed money, so I gave it. I never wanted you to do without. I still don't. Now I know that I was no different than the one supplying you the drugs. Heck, I was supplying you with the money to buy them. You see, I've always had rose-colored glasses when it came to you. Maybe it was because I knew one day God would bring you through. I never cared that you were gay. I prayed through lows when the drug use was bad because you were still my sister. I've been through every withdrawal. You see, the saying is true. When you love the addict, you are just as affected as they are, minus the high. When you was introduced after being clean for over 10 years to meth, surprised I didn't notice. You was you. You were working your tail off at a job doing things men couldn't do. Pulling hours I couldn't imagine pulling and never complaining. I thought it was funny that you never seemed to sleep, but I just thought maybe your days and nights were messed up. Newsflash, they wasn't. But you never hid from me. We stayed connected. When you talked to no one else, you would talk to me. It became conversations to have you talk to Tab. I could always say, yeah, she was good, just working all the time. I brought you dinner to your jobs and never saw you any different until it was brought to my attention. I think Tab's on drugs again. Heart-stopping words. I started paying attention. My heart started breaking. When I found out the drug, I was terrified. The one people don't come off of, it only gets worse. Every night I prayed for you. God, just watch over her and keep her here. I need her. Pray for the lost, the homeless, and the addicts, because you're the addict. You started becoming angry, paranoid. I was getting angry because you was paranoid and I thought people were doing you wrong. When in reality, the true reality, it was all in your mind. Then the night came, the one that I'll never forget. No one could find you. I was doing homework sitting in my bed and I got the call that we can't find Tab. Have you heard from her? I said, I guess she's at work. I could feel it. Something was wrong. It's that connection that we've always had. I started calling you. You wouldn't answer. Finally, you did. You have never been cross with me. You answered and said, what? I said, where are you? You said, don't worry about it. I'm a lost cause. I said, stop and tell me where you are. I'm coming to get you. And you said, no, you're not. There's nothing you can do for me. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to ask you a question. And you said, yes, Whitney, I'm back on drugs. I said, what are you on? Meth. Forget about me. I'm not fixable this time. And you were gone. It was in that moment I thought that this was truly the last time I would ever hear from you. Shoo. It was in that moment with tears streaming, us flying down the road trying to get to you, that I just started praying to God. I don't want to lose her, but I don't want her to struggle with life anymore. I'm handing her to you. That's the moments. Oh.
Because you don't know what that, you don't know what that means. You're handing something to God that He could go either way.
If you have to take her, understand. I'd rather her be in your arms than in this hold the world has on her. Hours pass, still searching. My phone rings. No one else was. It was mine. Whitney, I have Tab. She wanted to call you, but she doesn't want to talk to anyone else. Put her on the phone. The relief just knowing God let me keep you and you're still alive. I can explain, though not getting to hear from you for a week was horrible. Reading your notes, hearing you speak and utilize the lessons you had learned was life-changing. I could finally breathe. We became advocates. Our life goal was to be sure you were never around temptation like that again. With God's help and family's help, we were finally to get our Tab back. The Tab that wanted relationships with us. The happy Tab. The Tab that you could finally believe that she was telling you was the truth. The Tab you could loan $20. Yeah, I remember that. And you know that she was going to use it for what she needed. The Tab that if I go one day without hearing from, I don't worry. I'll know she's avoiding me. I know she's probably just asleep. The Tab that asked God to let her use her testimony to help others. Look at you, Bo. How you say it?
You.
You went from standing in the front of a chapel of teenage girls and 4 of them getting saved, now co-hosting a podcast for recovery. Someone who said they'd never walk through the church doors again to someone who joined the church and lives the life outside the doors. Working with you at the coffee shop, I get to see the firsthand the lives you've changed, the hundreds of times you've got to tell your testimony, the way you live your testimony, most of us all. I've always looked up to you, and I always have been proud of you, but the way my heart bursts when I get to speak of you and share how you've overcame things that people thought, myself included, wasn't overcomable. You did it, and I know without a shadow of a doubt, you can do anything, you can do it. If you can do it, anyone can. Dang. God left the 99 that night and found you, and God will continue to leave the 99 just to find that change. Can it scientifically be proven? It takes 30 days for your brain to start fixing itself. 30 days, but you can't hit 30 without one day at a time. One step at a time, you can do it. If no one else is praying for you, we are. I love you so much. To heaven and back, a day plus one. I'm thankful you fought. You're always my bestest. I'll let you read that last part.
You had eliminated. We always say stupid stuff.
Oh, goodness, Whitney. I wasn't supposed to cry, Whitney.
You
you know, that's exactly what I did. But man, it's gut wrenching to know what you put your family through.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's crazy is it's the same. Like my story, it's completely different, but core. You know, I'm here because someone gave me to Jesus.
Yeah,
Same as you.
praying that.
You know, that's the defining moment there.
Not
And that's a
knowing
tough
what
thing to
that was gonna
pray.
be.
You know, yeah, not knowing the outcome, but I know that people prayed the same for me.
Yeah,
And you know, that's I'm a great believer, and that's why I'm here today.
yeah, absolutely.
Shoo-wee.
Shoo-wee, I'm hot
Pick an
too.
easy one.
Okay, well, we'll see where this one goes. Okay. I met Justin when he began dating my daughter in 2005. They had developed a lifestyle that they knew I didn't approve of, and therefore they avoided me for quite some time. Fast forward to probably 2011, and they had fallen in love and decided to get married. They didn't seem to have any ambition at all. At that point, I just thought they were immature and irresponsible, but I now know that they were using. They had a baby in 2012 and seemed to always struggle to make ends meet. They would avoid me as much as they could until they needed money. When I finally realized there was an addiction, I tried a number of times to get them help, but they weren't ready. Finally, in August of 2014, Justin agreed to go into rehab. I knew in my heart that this was for real. I watched him become a leader, even in rehab, helping others as he worked on his own life. I was so proud of him even then. Over the next decade, he has proven himself to be wise, discerning, and a quick study in every way. He has grown in his faith and become a leader in his home. When Justin sets his mind to something now, he will accomplish it. He has worked hard to develop and excel in a career and is a good provider for his family. In addition to that, he has become a best friend to me. Since my husband died in 2022, Justin has stepped up as my helper and protector. There's nothing he wouldn't do for me, and I take great comfort in that. He is growing in his faith and learning every day what it means to be a child of God. This man has a true passion to help others overcome addiction of any kind and become the people God created them to be. God has a very important plan for Justin, and I look forward to seeing how that plays out in the future. I'm so grateful to be a part of his life. Carry on, son. I love you, and I tell you so. I love it.
And that's the truth, you know. Because we were young, doing stuff we wasn't supposed to. That lifestyle led me to being homeless and couch surfing for way too long.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's why I said if I met that dude, I don't know if he would believe I'm real, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not about the possessions, but, you know, God's taken me to a place that I never
dreamed.
never thought was possible.
Well,
And it's not, you know, and that, that
I
stuff
think
don't mean nothing to me, you
Yeah.
know. It's still like, it's not what's important. But
Yep.
he will give you back the years that the locust took, you know, and that's, if I can prove anything, just, you know, people can look at me and sometimes they get jealous or they think stuff was handed to me. They don't realize the sacrifices that I've
What
had to
I
make
worked.
to get to back here today. You
Yeah.
know, the mind games that I fought. And, you know,
And that makes you feel so good to turn around and see, knowing what life you came from
yeah.
and what you have now. I don't know.
It's hard.
It's
And,
that
you know, I
stuff's-
kill for, that's another one. I kill over that woman. I would.
Yeah.
And she's one of my best friends too. And I'm grateful to say that that's my mother-in-law, you know? Like, how many people have that relationship with their mother-in-law?
Exactly. Yeah. Most of the time when you talk about in-laws, they're like, I ain't coming.
Yeah.
Or something like
You
that.
know, when I'm blessed with that relationship now, that one that
Yeah.
I avoided for so long because we wasn't. You know, she's not wrong. She knew.
That's what Becca's always said. I always say that my dad won't never be gone until Beck is,
Yeah.
because he knew everything, even the things that you would have thought he would never found out.
Yeah. And that's
And
that
he would say
discernment.
the Lord showed
Yeah,
him.
that's the discernment. And I do believe that I carry that, you know, that God always, he especially lately.
Yeah.
Like, he definitely shows me the door.
Yeah. Beck says, God won't leave me in the dark.
No,
And
not for long.
no. So, and that's what I said, you can't hide nothing from her either. And I tell her son all the time, Mason, if you think she don't know, she does.
Yeah.
If she don't now, the Lord will show her.
100%.
Yeah.
This is hard.
I know. My eyes already
Okay.
feel swelled.
Says, I haven't had time to write my letter, so I'm sending it to you. The thing that I've noticed the most since Tab got clean versus when she was in her active addiction is her determination. It's very obvious that any drug has side effects. The side effects that she has had consumed her for quite some time. It has affected her mentally in a lot of ways that people probably don't see. She's always sharp as a tack, and now it's almost like she has ADHD. It's hard for her to focus on one thing at a time because her mind bounces from here to there. However, she has been determined to overcome that, and I see it a little more every day. She could easily let that get to her, or let her get, she could easily let her, oh my goodness, she could have easily let that get her down. I don't know why that was so hard.
No, it's her.
And crawl in a hole, and I've never tried to succeed in anything in life, but she has done that. Instead, she went the other direction full force. She has a relationship with God now that she hasn't had in a lot of years. This is another determination that I've seen in her. She's tired of living a life behind closed doors, and she's determined to build her relationship with God and get closer to Him each and every day. She is in the church more now than she has been in years, and it shows every single day. He is helping her with the side effects of the drugs and with her everyday life. He never left her. She just kind of put him on the back burner for a while, I guess you could say. Now she is going headstrong to him, and he is blessing her tremendous. I'm so proud of her, and I'm just thankful that I'm here for it.
I am. To face what that drug done to me, sober is difficult, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And there's days I just want to say, I'm tired of struggle. But it didn't bring me this far for nothing.
Yep.
Because there's days I'm wore out. But I know I done it to myself. There's nobody to blame but me. But I'm glad that other people notice that I am trying
Yep.
and not letting it get the best of me.
You know, it's important. That's why this is such an awesome thing, is that you don't get to hear it enough. You know?
No,
You know, people don't want to be weird.
it is
But-
such a struggle. Okay. Let me see if I can see that. Since Justin has gotten clean, he has shown a noticeable improvement in both physical health and overall well-being. He is much more present, focused, and engaged in daily life. He is much more reliable, and it shows a stronger sense of responsibility. When Justin was using, he oftentimes seemed distant and unaware of the world around him. He now lives in the present and doesn't take things for granted. In addition, he has made meaningful efforts to rebuild relationships and maintain healthier habits. His attitude is more optimistic, and he approaches challenges with a level of determination that was not evident before. It's clear that this change has had a significant and positive impact on his life, and he deserves recognition for the effort and commitment it has taken to get here.
You know, it's crazy. I started the drugs to try to get here. Because I thought that, you know, I can't do it by myself, and I need it. And it was the energy thing
Yeah.
for me. And
Yeah, that was
you know,
me.
the fact that we couldn't get it until we quit that, you know, I told somebody, just like in that letter, it said, you know, God was with you the whole time. And I believe that too, because through this podcast, people have messaged talking about, hey, this one time you did this and you didn't really understand at the time, but it meant everything to me.
Yeah.
And and that's just proof that even I wasn't even saved, but I told somebody it's the story of Job was, hey, I'm gonna let you do this to him, but we're only going right here with it.
Yeah.
And
So
thank
did
God
you
for
get
that.
saved after you got clean?
It was during that whole time is
During
when
that
I
whole
gave
time.
my life to God. When it was found out and I realized, I do got a problem.
Yeah.
And I realized that I couldn't fix it by myself.
See, I always was, and that's why I knew the whole time it was wrong. And I say it all the time. I knew it was wrong.
still
But
knew
when
it.
you're that far, yeah.
I still knew what I was doing
Yeah.
wasn't right.
Yeah.
Because I was raised up in the church. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I
That
knew
was
all
me.
the things. I knew all the songs. I played piano for them up there lost,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm thankful for everything you've went through and what you've become. I'm thankful.
And it's just a byproduct of doing the next right thing.
Yeah.
It all stemmed from that stupid rehab quote.
I know it. I hear them all the time.
Yep.
Do the next right thing.
Do the next right thing, and that's all I've tried to do.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes, it's hard. It's not
One
always
day at a
easy.
time.
Yeah. And we don't see it like, just the presence thing's killing me. I never realized that I was unpresent.
Or how much they noticed it,
Yeah.
I guess. We probably thought,
We thought we had them fooled.
Yeah. But now we're getting to see that they saw it.
Okay. Got some handwriting. I'll really not be able to read this one. Okay, gosh, where to start? To know Tab is to 100% love her. The change in her is so unreal, and her heart is as huge as her personality. I was only present for the back end of her addiction, but that was enough to see the hurt and the pain it caused. It was a lifetime worth. Now skip to the present day. Gosh, where do I even go first? Tab has always loved me, and I the same with her. Her love for the Lord shines so bright, and we get to have conversations on what the Lord has brought her through. We attend church together, and the growth there makes my heart smile so dang big. She is a friend everybody needs, and so thankful she's mine. Addiction is something I know nothing about, but being a small part of Tab's journey, I know without a doubt people can change and come out so much better. I love you and Tab. Or I love you, Tab. She don't love me. I love you, Tab.
Sure she
and so
does.
proud to call you my friend and sister in Christ. Angel.
I'm sure she loves you too. Huh, we're in this together, buddy.
The hurt's the same, the key parts, everything's the same, and that's I'm pattern recognition. That's my ADHD autism
Yeah.
superpower now that I got from the, and I don't know if I think I always had it, and I think that's why I seeked chemicals is because it stopped
Yeah.
all that for me.
Yep.
So, coming from a neurodivergent, I understand. You should
Yeah.
see me do stuff at the house. Like I don't finish nothing before I start this and this and this.
You know
But
what?
by the end, they all get done.
I always, and I think, a matter of fact, it's on my Facebook profile. I got a PhD, projects half done.
Can't help it.
Nope.
Cannot help it. But like, at least for me, I've been clean for 11 years now, and I still struggle with the bouncing. That's my worst thing is I bounce. But you do that does start to repair itself, and it does. You come back and you'll get your sharpness back over time.
Yeah.
But you also, I've learned to navigate it a little bit, and that kind of turns you into a superhuman to a normal person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
Yeah.
you notice things people don't know, you see things people don't see, like, and that's kind of a superpower.
Yeah.
So don't be so hard on yourself for that.
Sure.
It's coming from someone that also went through that.
Yeah. I'm a lot better now than I was before.
And it's hard. It's hard,
gosh.
especially right out the fog.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate that I didn't never do meth, and I
Yeah.
know what it does. Though I've seen enough, and it's hell. Like,
My doctor told me, she said, you'll get most of, everything back. But she said, I'm not going to lie to you about the mental part. It has done what it's done. You probably won't ever fix that 100%. And I said, that hit me like a ton of bricks.
Mhm.
But I couldn't blame nobody else. I knew it was I didn't have to do that.
Yep.
But like I said before, facing that sober,
It's just,
It's scary.
yeah,
Yeah, I went through cancer with it, so I know the scare.
yeah. Ooh. Am I ready?
If you want to, it's
we
a
go.
long one and it's handwritten.
This is the last one, I think, right?
Yeah. I got no more.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me get this in order. I done it backwards. Right here. When I first met Justin, exactly, I can't recall. Drew, my best friend, and Justin's now brother-in-law introduced us at one point or another. This was long before any of us were married or had kids. First impression? Well, familiar. He seemed like a druggie. I don't say that out of judgment. I was a druggie too, as were all my friends. So Justin fit right in. The next few years, we saw each other family regularly. Pretty much any time Drew was in town, we would smoke, laugh, hang out, normal friend stuff. While I knew who he was, I didn't really know. Like all addicts, he was really good at hiding his struggles, just like I hid mine. I had no idea that this semi-friendship would have such a profound effect on my life in years to come. As the years passed, like they do, our relationship slowly grew. This doesn't have to be read aloud, he said. But Justin, oh, should I skip this?
You say it, I don't care.
Justin sold me weed for a few years at least.
I was good at that.
He's telling on you.
It's bad,
But that's what.
it's where we were.
Yeah. So we would talk at least once a month. Over the years, Justin seemed to go through phases. At the time, I had no idea why. Like myself, he seemed a bit moody, which is something I completely understood. Also, he would go down these conspiracy rabbit holes, which a lot turned out to be true, unfortunately.
I did.
It's so funny. But that was sort of it. He was my weed guy who talked my ear off about crazy shit. I had no idea of the struggles he was dealing with, and he nor anybody else had any idea about mine. Starting in 2020, during the great pandemic, all of that would change. In 2020, literally everything changed for me. I was blessed with a beautiful, perfect baby boy, which was by far the best thing to ever happen to me, shortly after I lost my job. So I was struggling not only with being a first-time father, but trying to start a new career. Then my wife left. Oh, boy. By far the worst thing that ever happened to me. After a long, messy divorce, I was left with full custody of my son, a solid victory for any man. But then I was left raising a baby on my own. While I enjoyed almost every second of fatherhood, I began to fall deeper into depression, turning to alcohol to try to fill the void my wife left. It became normal. Wake up, go full dad mode, put the baby to sleep, get drunk. Every day for longer than I care to admit. I continued to struggle with other substances as well, but I
Sure.
know what that is.
Which one?
Right there.
Digress.
Okay. The point is, I was in a bad place. After the divorce, Justin and I slowly grew closer and closer. I had always known Drew's extended family pretty well, but during this time, our kids started to get to know one another, and for me, it kind of felt like having an extended family of my own. That really meant a lot to me at the time and still does. However, I still didn't feel comfortable opening up about my struggles, even with the people closest to me. That would all change the day I caught wind of a new podcast and decided to give it a listen. I had been stuck in the mud for years, to the point where I didn't even realize it anymore. I didn't talk to anyone about it, I just sat with it. And one day, out of nowhere, I get a Facebook notification. Justin Griffin Podcast. Usually I just ignore Facebook stuff. But that evening, I decided to tune in and listen. What I saw was someone I thought I knew, but had no idea
no idea of the struggle, the story, and the success. Hearing Justin share something so personal and broadcast it to the whole world, well, it just blew my mind. Brought me to tears, actually. At the end of the cast, I'll never forget the line, "If you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction, to reach out." For some reason, that's exactly what I needed to hear at exactly the right time. I did reach out, and Justin really listened and heard me. And most important, he helped guide me to having a stronger relationship with the Lord. Ever since then, I've been trying to take the steps to turn my life around. Direction. When I felt, wait, wrong way. When once I just accepted that I was drowning. Now, at least I'm trying to swim. Justin, man, seeing how far you've come, it's pretty inspiring. I always knew you were a good dude, but darn, what you're doing now, putting everything out there and really doing so much to help others. I never would have guessed that a few years back I ended up making this letter about me. I really didn't intend to. I just want to close by saying thank you, brother. You've been there for me during some hard times, and I really appreciate it. I admire the man you've become, and I'm really happy and really proud to call you my friend.
Sure. And that
That
was the first person, and that was what we was after when we started this. That's
Yeah.
what we said, is that if we can talk to one person.
And you didn't know that you were talking
No
to
idea.
him.
No idea. And it makes me so happy to see them standing up playing the guitar in the church now. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
I sent them a picture of them, and I said, on them days you're giving yourself a hard time, I said, I want you to look at this. I said,
Yeah.
because this is less than 7 months turnaround.
He's trying to swim.
And
I love
he
that
is.
part. Instead of giving up and drowning, he's trying to swim.
And I love his kid. You know what I mean? His kid's one of
Yeah.
them kids that can come to my house without asking.
Yeah.
And that's why we do it. And this is not for promotion of me. This is not to promote Tab. This is
No.
not for fame. This is not for entertainment. Like, I do this because of that
one.
right there. And
Yeah.
I want to talk about it because just like in your last note, they said that they don't know a lot about it. And
Yep.
if we don't talk about it, they're never going to learn about it, So
There's that saying, we have to recover so loud so that everybody will quit dying quietly. And that is so true. Would we have ever before? That's the issue. It's been shamed
yeah,
so much that people don't want to reach out for help.
they stop seeing them as people. And
Yeah. So we have to be the ones that lets them know there is better. There is
Yeah.
hope.
There's hope.
There
for
is a different life for
everybody.
you.
My God's the same God you can have.
Yeah.
And it's
And never will change.
I challenge you to try him.
Yeah.
Like if you're there right now, I challenge you to give it to him like some of these people did for us even. Like you ain't even got to be the addict. If you're the family member that knows
Yes.
but is scared to say, pray that prayer because that prayer saved me.
Yeah.
Apparently it saved her, and I 100% believe. And I'm here today because of somebody else's prayers.
Yeah. And that's what I say all the time. I'm thankful I had a praying family.
Amen. And one
Yeah.
that didn't give up,
Yeah. So I hope that you take this show and you run with it and talk to whatever you need to, whoever you need to reach that one. Because in the end, that's what we're after.
Yeah. I don't really have much more to talk about to you.
I think that was good.
That was a good idea.
Yep.
You have to come up with more.
I call them as the Lord sends them.
Amen.
So
Amen.
he might skip me this time and get you next
Yeah.
with the
If
the
you
thought.
don't care, just share it out. Tell people to follow us. Growth is never our primary goal here is that we don't need 1 million people,
Yeah.
but it sure would be nice to have 1 million people. Like that. What it's doing with this small number,
Yeah.
and if you're feeling led, I had somebody else that's doing a different podcast. It's not
Yeah.
this kind,
Yeah.
but they're like, I've been thinking about
Do it.
do it. If God's calling you to do it, do it.
Do it.
And I'm grateful for each and every one of y'all that take the time to sit down with us, and we love you.
Yeah.